All right, guys, I'm excited. I got a nice package today from Class Aquatics. If you guys don't know who they are, go check them out. If you're interested in any kind of rare fish, but they specialize in the fish that I have behind me floating. And I'm gonna show you real quick how to acclimate these guys. And also Class Aquatics will give you all the tips and tricks to do it. I'm just showing you what they told me and what I've known from before. Here we go. So nothing is really happening now. We're just floating. I don't know if you guys can tell what that is. This is the reason I set this tank up. Obviously they'll look prettier once they're out of the bags. But what I was told is to float the bags, get their temperature acclimation going for about 15-20 minutes. Depending on how long they've been in transit, you know, I wouldn't go less than 15 minutes. These guys are doing good though, they're moving around, so I'm not worried. Once we do that, I'm gonna dump some water out. I'm dumping some water out of their bags, and I will be placing them in here with just enough water from the bags in each container, maybe both in one, doesn't matter. But like I said, just enough water so it covers them. And then I'll start my drip acclimation. I just started the drip acclimation on the whole tub just to have all the temperature around them good. You don't have to do that part. But once I place them in here, I'll slow this drip down and you guys will see how slow I get it. And then we'll leave them there for about 20 to 30 minutes. If you go any longer, that's perfect. I wouldn't go any less. That way it gets them acclimated to your water. But bear with me, I'll get these guys temperature acclimated first, and then we'll get them to the water acclimation. These guys, as you guys seen before, they will be coming out of this tank, but for now, I'm keeping them in there. I shouldn't have any problems. If I see any kind of problems, any of these guys are coming out. But for right now, these guys are a little too small. So, you know, the Stingrays might go after them. But like I said, right now, they're not gonna be trying to eat. They're just gonna wanna get accustomed to their new home. And then a couple days, I'll move at least these two guys, the smaller guys. There's one baby cichlid there, unintentional. I'll talk about that guy in some other video. I'll get those guys out of there just because they're a little bit too small. But bear with me, and then I'll get these guys going and get them in there. All right, let's see how gracefully I can do this.
Don't know your name, don't know this feeling deep inside my chest. Going insane, but I go anywhere, it's your request. It's a blood rush, heart pump, red riptide. It's a current holding my hand. Take me down, 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 down. I can never get enough. Take me down, 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 down.
These are well packaged. Obviously, mostly like any other fish, these were next day air, and they truly were. I'll show you a nice close-up once I get them in the tank, which will, for me, will be another half hour or so. And then also what I'm going to do, and in case I forget to mention it later, once I put these guys in there, I will shut the lights off. Well, I'll show you guys the rays, but I will shut the lights off afterwards, and that way they can be a little bit at peace. Should have just got scissors. All right. So like I said, I'll try removing some of their water without them getting out. And I'm dumping it into my larger container. Here we go. Here goes one ray. All right. That's one ray. And let me move this to get the drip going in there. And then I'll get this other one. So far from what I'm seeing, they look beautiful. So in case you guys didn't know, these will be my first rays. So I will have a little bit of a learning curve, but like I said, the guys from Class Aquatics, my buddy Casey being one of them, he's been helping me and he will be helping me along the way. So get that out. And the way I'm doing this is just like I said, Class Aquatics prefers and told me. So obviously this is not like normal fish that you get at the pet store. And it being my first rays, I'm definitely gonna listen to them. They have a couple stingrays. Also, one of the reasons you wanna get them, acclimating as soon as possible once you receive them is because, obviously you don't know how long they've been in transit. Like I said, usually it's next day air, but things can happen. So the sooner you can get them out of their water and their bag, the better, because ammonia, they got oxygen in there and everything, but ammonia can build up. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they didn't feed these guys before putting them in transit. So that's one thing you do want to do, is if you're trying to, I'm trying to focus here. If you're trying to ship fish, you do not want to feed them, a couple days prior, just so there's less ammonia in the water. Alright, here goes the second one in here. This is the best you could do for them, acclimating. Here they go. And then the reason I like using this tub, the bigger tub, is because that way, even if I'm still acclimating, this will overflow into the tub, and there's nothing wrong with that. I probably will speed my drip up just a little bit. If you guys never done drip acclimation, let's see if you can. You see right here, I have a knot tied. Obviously it's not tight, but you can regulate how much drip you want. So right now, since I want a little bit more, I'm going to loosen this knot, and then we should start seeing a little bit more going on. This is one of those processes, once you get them out of the bag, you can actually take your time. There you go. You can take your time, and the longer you acclimate, the better. If you have a bigger container or something like that, and you're still dripping about that much, you might want to put an air stone. But in this smaller container and with the amount that's going in, that's getting some water agitation, so that's getting some oxygen to them. So I shouldn't have to worry about it. All right, well, I'll get back to you guys once I start putting them in the tank. All right, here we go. There's a maiden voyage into the tanks where they will grow out, and then I have to build another tank. So let me stop this drip. There we go. Alright, you guys can see this. So this was overflowing. Most of their water should be out of that tub. I'm gonna drain it a little bit. Same thing, kind of just enough water for them to be under it. And then I'll take the whole tub, set it in the tank, and let them free. We'll see where they go. Also, if you guys don't know much about stingrays, they do have a spine on the back. What do they call it? You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. So you gotta be careful with their tail, where their tail's at all times. Even once you train them well, you still gotta be careful with it. All right, here we go. Just take your time, guys. This does not need to be rushed, especially because stingrays are not cheap. So here we go. We'll let some water in. And then you guys should be able to see them come out if they want to. Oh, one that wants to stay in here. There we go. What I've been waiting for so long. As you guys know, I set this tank up and I told you there was gonna be a surprise. Well, this is a surprise, and this is why I set them up, or set this tank up. Like I said, these fish will probably be out of here once I get the 150 going. Pretty shortly here, I'll shut the lights off. They're about 6 inches, so they're still babies. And then I'll give them a couple days, maybe a day or two, and then I'll try to feed and see if they take it. So as far as information on these guys, these are purebred black diamond stingrays. They're not crossed with anything. They're not hybrids. That's exactly what I wanted. As a male and a female. Once they start moving around later on, when they get comfortable, I'll show you how I know. But big thanks to Casey and Brian from Class Aquatics. Like I said, Casey's the one that's been helping me out, but Brian is just as helpful. I hear from other people that have bought from them. So we'll see how these guys do. They're looking good. There's no damage to them. They shipped really well. Like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on these other fish, make sure none of these should be fin nippers. Most of these can actually go with stingrays, but I'm taking them out anyways. Like I said, this little guy, I'm not sure what he is yet. He's still growing into his color, so once he gets some color, I'll figure out what it is. And like I said, oh, also excuse me for the mess in this tank. I wasn't expecting them so soon. I did talk to Casey. He said the algae is fine, but I'm gonna clean that off and then I'm gonna change my light schedule so we'll get some get less algae, and I will like I said, well, mainly change the light schedule, which is pretty much run less lighting. The next couple of days I might actually not have the lights on, and then once I see the stingrays are in there and comfortable, I'm gonna start cleaning this bottom like I always do. I usually clean it once a week. I didn't get to it on this one because I had a trip last weekend. But I would clean this up, and eventually this tank should be algae free. Like I said, I don't mind algae in the back wall. I don't mind algae on the pipes, but I am gonna clean the flooring and the front glasses. But let me get to taking care of these guys and turn these lights off. Also, because I think this will be the same video, I did take a tour once I was in Ohio. I did take a tour of Casey's fish room or fish garage, and then he has a nice big massive tank down in his basement. So it's either going to be before this part or after this part. That way you guys can meet Casey. And but yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.